Are you still struggling to drag click in 2025? Don't worry, I've been drag clicking for 4 years and I'm an expert at explaining this technique. In this video, I'll go over the key steps in learning how to drag click and how you can do it consistently every time. Let's dive straight into this. So to start, let me quickly explain how drag clicking works. Drag clicking is when you drag your finger on the surface of your mouse button to create friction, which causes the button to vibrate and register multiple clicks. A common misconception that people have when learning to drag click is they think they need to press really hard to create friction. I also started out thinking this was the right way because when most people think of creating friction, they immediately think of two things rubbing firmly against each other. However, that's not the case when it comes to drag clicking. And here's where we get into our first step of learning this technique. You don't have to press hard to create friction. You want to lightly roll your finger off the edge of your mouse button. Take a look at this example real quick. Imagine dragging your finger on a table surface. This is really good practice and my first recommended step when you're in the learning process. Watch the difference between when I press hard on the table and when I apply just a little pressure. When I press hard on the table, my finger just moves along the surface with no vibration. Remember, the key to drag clicking is making your finger vibrate up and down to click the mouse button more. Now watch when I lightly move my finger. Here, I'm not trying to press hard, I'm just lightly moving it across. Now let me show you this on a mouse. As you can see, I'm just rolling my finger along the mouse button. There's not a lot of force being applied. I promise if you practice on different types of surfaces, you'll get the hang of doing it on your mouse button in no time. Now before we end, there's also a quicker way to cheat the whole learning process of this. What I was just explaining previously is how to long drag click, which is the real and most common way to do it. However, you can also learn how to short drag click much easier than long dragging. Let me explain this. I've taught many of my friends how to short drag click way quicker than long dragging. Short drag clicking is what most Minecraft PvPers do when they're trying to bridge. I'm sure you've seen this. Now the reason short drag clicking is easier is because you're only hitting the mouse button for a very short amount of time. When long drag clicking, there's a much higher chance that you'll slip up and lose your vibration. However, with short drag clicking, you're almost guaranteed to get some clicks registered. With that being said, let me quickly show how this is done. So to short drag, you'll want to raise your hand higher than when you're long dragging. This is because you're almost going to hit your mouse button instead of roll against it. The next step is to just drop your finger and drag it off the edge of the mouse button. This is what it looks like in slow motion. As you can see, I'm hardly hitting the mouse button at all, but the button is still bouncing and registering those extra clicks. So all in all, to short drag, you're really just dropping your finger and slightly rolling it at the end to create tiny vibrations. Again, this is a lot easier to get the hang of, but I would definitely recommend trying to learn how to do both long and short drag clicking. I hope this video helped you out. Be sure to leave a comment if you have any questions that you want answered. I also have some other videos on how to jitter click, butterfly click, double click, and much more if you're interested. Thank you guys so much for watching and have fun drag clicking.